Hi, this is xiii-2 Ruler, here for an informative video about my views on the recent DLC expansion for Final Fantasy 13-2. For this week, there's been some good things and some really devilish demon things. We'll first start off with the good things because I have a long thing to talk about the bad thing. So, the good thing is that the Coliseum gets a new battle, and it's Ultros and Typhon from Final Fantasy VI. Now that to me is a very good DLC choice, not to mention to get nostalgia back from past gamers, to actually give a choice, to have them actually tameable, and to see their dialogue when they're battling you. Because Ultros is a funny guy, and so is Typhon. Those are two funny characters, and I'm glad that there's a reference there of Ultros was the original Coliseum headmaster. It's true. A big octopus thing runned a Coliseum. Funny as hell. I really like it. It would be certainly enjoyable. I hope to pick that up because I haven't really played 6. I've watched a full playthrough of it, so I probably played the game, but I haven't really played it to enjoy it for myself, and that game's good. It has good villains, good plot points, and everything. Now, the second thing that's coming out is something that us Final Fantasy fans just cringe at. There's been so much negative feedback on it. It's a crossover costume. How original. First of all, you're gonna cross over another game. Well, hopefully it's something fantasy-ish and not science fiction-y, right? Wrong. The crossover is that 2 new costumes for Serah and Noel will be Shepard's armor from Mass Effect. This really disappoints me because this isn't original at all, and for one, God, you see how distraught I am at how goddamn I hate this. So I have to get my points across without feeling ranty, without yelling my face off. So first reason is, here's another way for the publishers to screw the company even more. You can see it in the feedback, you can see it in the way people are handling this. They are not happy, and this is either Square's fault or the publisher's fault in trying to push this, but it helps the publisher who is giving permission to use this in a Final Fantasy game. I hate that. And it's the publisher's way of getting a younger demographic into the shooter game, which you know that FPSs, no matter if they're M rating, they tailor to the 12-year-olds, the 13-year-olds. You may not know it, but they do. They have options for fixing bad words. They don't really do bad words or really do cussing or derogatory things at all. They don't really touch those issues. They just touch, here's the bad guy, here are the good guys. Good guys beat bad guys. Point and shoot. So, some games, some FPSs don't do that. They tailor to a more adult audience. But big budget games like Mass Effect, Halo, Gears, Call of Duty, they tailor to the younger audience, and who blames them? The younger audience is probably going to buy most of their games because it's a simple distraction for the parents. this brings up to my second topic. I looked at the cases for Mass Effect 2 and Final Fantasy 13 2. They look similar, but if you get into the game, you'll know that Mass Effect 2 is very different. It is like a dark world where everyone is feeling the pain of overpopulation and greed over everyone, and it just looks like slums everywhere you go. And sometimes you go to a planet, but still that planet with the people in it, it's taken over and massacred. It's not a good place to be at, and another thing is this doesn't suit well with the crossover of Final Fantasy, where Final Fantasy is a game that is lighthearted. It likes to pull jokes. It likes to put references in. It likes chocobos and moogles. And yeah, it gets serious at the end, but at the end, it doesn't get, like, so serious that it's dark and gritty. Because I just never thought that with a Final Fantasy game. It was lighthearted enough, but at the end, it did its serious point. It did it well, but with the lightheartedness of the interactions of people and the animals and the monsters that you fight. The monsters that you fight in Final Fantasy are kooky. They're kind of crazy. They're original. Mass Effect enemies you fight, they're your typical gritty FPS guy and zombie guy that's used in every FPS now. Yeah, they put shields up, and different stealth agents, but they did that in the third game. It's two different animals, and this crossover doesn't feel good. Third reason is BioWare, a completely different company, westernized. It doesn't suit. It's a third-person shooter. Other people would disagree with that, but I've played two times, and I didn't feel any RPG element. Sure, you have to do choices, but what's to say a regular first-person shooter could do the same? It's not very RPG elements. And considering in the third game they have an option where you can take the RPG element out, yeah, it's catering to shooter people. Whereas Final Fantasy does, they try to do more action stuff, but they stay to the core of, this is an RPG. You have so many battle mechanics, you have to learn it, you have to get your equipment right, and you have to deal with the party members we give you. It makes you kind of think. Some people might disagree with that, but I think it makes you think, because if you fail, you gotta rearrange your strategy. You gotta do something. Whereas Mass Effect, you basically have simple strategies of shoot the guy, or place some certain power that's considered their magic, and kill him, basically. And not to mention the powers, and the powers are weak, kind of. I don't know if they fixed that in 3, but in 2 they were weak. They weren't very useful. They were only useful when the AI was using it. But yeah, you have BioWare in Final Fantasy, and they try to put it together. BioWare should be here, and Final Fantasy should be 80,000 miles that way. To me, anyway. Yeah, I might be a little biased in this video, and I'm sorry about that. Uh, fourth reason, and I think this will be a biased statement as well, but when I think of crossover, the givers take and the takers give. When someone decides, hey, we want to do something kooky and crazy and put some of your stuff in our game to make the characters look stupid, the other developers and publishers of the side that does that say, hey, I like it, I'm going to give you permission, so please. Well, this is what I would do if I was in their shoes. I'd be like, I like it. I like that you're recognizing my game. I'm liking that you're giving me marketing prize. I'm going to let you promote your game on my thing by giving you one option that you could choose from. Now, to me, this would be very cool, and it would probably help in all this negative feedback that's coming, because to me, it would be very nice if they were considering this. Sorry, my leg fell asleep there, but if they're considering this, that they should put Final Fantasy objects in Mass Effect and see how that goes. What would I like? I'd only like one thing, personally. If Liara gets a costume skin of Lightning's armor, or Liara gets a Blaze Fire Saber, or the main character gets a Blaze Fire Saber, or the main character in Mass Effect gets Serah's crossbow as a weapon, and what it does is you crossbow the arrows, the supposed arrows would fire lasers, and it'd be like a sniper rifle. See, that would be good marketing tools, because one thing is helping the other, and also one thing makes it look a jackass, and the other thing makes it look like a jackass. But it's cool because they're working together. It helps. It helps. For those of you who didn't like the Assassin's Creed crossover, maybe Assassin's Creed, to help ease the pain, could do what I'm suggesting Mass Effect should do. Like, in the next game, hey, have a no costume skin for the assassin, or have the assassin wield Noel's weapon. Noel's weapon is pretty cool. It's a cross between a greatsword, a ninja sword, and a spear. So you can dual wield, you can single wield, you can turn it into a spear and throw it at the revolutionary horses. So yeah, that's what I'd like. Is this ever going to happen? No. Because I don't think so. But to me, that would make the situation a lot more manageable and a lot more less criticizing. That's the only way that's going to make it less criticizing to me. So yeah. Final Fantasy right now, in their DLC practices for costumes are not very good. I would go back to the drawing board on that. their Coliseum battles are good, and what they're doing for stories and not adding achievements and trophies that piss me off and have to go buy it again is good. And what does this mean for future Final Fantasy? Well, it's officially scarred forever now. The sequels, anyway. The only reason it's going to do any better is if 15 gets 10s on her review score, or if people say about it, this is back to what Final Fantasy used to be. That's the only way it's ever going to be taken seriously ever again. 13, you didn't see this in 13, and at least 13 didn't do this. 13-2, and the way the DLC is running, and the way the story is so short, and the way that the ending is kind of bad, and the way that the battle mechanics are really grindy, and once you utilize the battle mechanics, you basically broken the game, and your leveling is out of kilter and unbalanced. The music is very hit and miss. Final Fantasy, if you're doing sequels ever again, you will not be taken seriously. You won't be. And I don't think you should do a sequel ever again. Not now, not 200 years from now. You should stick to what you do best. You do original universes, original stories, not original characters, but you use the stereotypes from past characters to make the character have original issues that will be implied in the universe. So yeah. Original battle mechanics. It's very hard to say this because I've played Final Fantasy since I was like 9 or 10, so this is like 10 years of my life that I've played this series. So yeah, that's what you do. Stick to what you're good at. Stick to having every Final Fantasy be different from itself, because in the world of games where they do sequels, continuating stories that don't really add much and just stay true to what they are, we don't need any more of those. There's like 80 million of those. You do what they don't do, and it's good, and we praise you for that. You actually take time to figure out an original fucking universe with different things and different characters. Yeah, some of your stuff is the same, but that's what we love. Subtle references with a whole original universe. Just don't do sequels anymore. Please. If you do another sequel, no one will probably take you seriously. They will not like it. And some people say that the figures for the sequel 13 did really bad. 330,000 copies in a month release. And the first week of Mass Effect 3 It was done continuating story. Did 1.3 million in about a week or two. But yeah, they've sold a lot more. I don't know the exact number, but they sold a lot more because it was a continuing story. And they stayed to what they are. With Final Fantasy the sequel, to me, I wouldn't even call it a sequel. I'd call it a second attempt. But that's a whole nother video. But for Final Fantasy, you expect an original story and original things. You don't want sequels. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy, you don't want sequels. You never do. And it's clearly evident by 13.2 and 10.2. Besides, they apparently do it bad anyway. So just don't do them anymore. I guess spin-offs would be fine because spin-offs are actually good. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII was good. It was a prequel. Maybe do prequels then. Maybe do prequels. Because prequels you seem to be good at, but sequels and other things you're bad at. 13.2, 10.2, Advent Children. Those are things they are not known that are good for, and those are sequels. So, yeah. Just let the people in their head imagine what happens next. If you want to do some backstory or whatever, make prequel. And the backstory actually shed some light on the main game, so it's actually a good formula for you. You make a confusing main game with the main storyline, and then you put a prequel explaining everything that was in the main game. So people appreciate the main game more while getting a solid story from the prequel. So do prequels instead of sequels. Anyway, I've gone on for about 22 minutes, so I hope you liked this discussion on my thoughts on the DLC coming out this week. I hope you take my points with some grain of salt and leave constructive comments below about what you think that this Final Fantasy has done to you, what the DLC has done to you. Personally, in the end, they shouldn't have done DLC in the first place, and the only reason they did DLC is to make more money to support Versus, but Versus hasn't come out till like in 6 years, so this whole sequel has been a moneymaker and a time waster for people who are waiting for Versus. But little do they know that when Versus comes out, probably barely anyone will buy that game, and the reviews will be subpar because they've waited so long. You've seen it done with Duke Nukem Forever. The only thing that has done this well and waited so long is StarCraft 2. So yeah. Those are my thoughts and views. Leave a constructive comment. Leave video responses if you'd like to on your differing view of the good view of why this is good that the DLC crossover is doing. And please leave if someone could just put a forum topic on like EA or Ubisoft game thing and say, hey, Final Fantasy has given you a chance to promote your game, why don't you promote their game and at least give some closure and some manageable simmering down, a cooldown, by letting some of their items cross over onto your game. And give your examples. Maybe you'd like to use my examples that were stated earlier, Or maybe you have some other new things. I don't know. Be creative. Please put up that forum topic. I would love to see that forum topic, and I will do anything I can to make this video. I'll put millions of tags. I'll put a good video description, and so yeah. Please leave comments. Please leave suggestions. And just quick, what's happening with this channel? I only put this video up because I was really mad about Square Enix doing something. Later on, this channel will become more active. Maybe if this video becomes very popular, I will share my views of other things that I don't like. That is very controversial to some people and might very tick off some people. So, yeah. See everyone, this is how you do a constructive video without blowing your brains out. Anyway, this is xiii-2 Ruler signing out. Hope you have a good day, and hopefully you spread your opinions as I have just spread mine. Thank you, bye.